President Trump doubling down on the economy, now claiming that there is virtually no inflation, and most recently also saying quotes like this: "I don't want to hear about the affordability," claiming that Democrats are making up numbers. But the big question is, no matter what they're saying, how do Americans feel about the economy right now and the impact of rising prices, where inflation is, paying their bills, being able to buy food at the grocery store? Harry Enton is taking a look and running the numbers on all of this. Politicians can say politician things,
yes,
but where are things with the economy right now and how people are feeling about it?
Yeah, what President Trump is trying to sell, the American folks aren't buying, and we can see it pretty simply here. Take a look here. This is consumer sentiment, the current conditions. Consumer sentiment can be the current conditions or it can be future expectations. We're looking at current conditions. And get this, according to the University of Michigan, we are dealing with the worst ever view of current conditions dating all the way back since 1951. This is record-breaking in the way you don't want to be breaking records. And get this, Kate, it is down 30%. Consumer sentiment of current conditions down 30% from January when Donald Trump took office. No bueno.
That is significant and something you can't ignore. You shouldn't ignore.
No, you should not.
Ignore to your peril. But they do not feel good about the economy. How much are they blaming this on President Trump?
Yeah, it would be one thing that President Trump could ignore it if folks weren't blaming him for it. But take a look here. Trump's policies have worsened economic conditions in America. Look at this. We're dealing with a super majority here. We're talking about more than 3 in 5 Americans, 61%, who say that Trump's policies have worsened economic conditions in America. How about worsened your own finances? Again, we're dealing with a majority here. 51% of Americans say that Trump's policies have worsened your own finances. This is double trouble for the President of the United States. When you're dealing with consumer sentiment of current conditions being record-breaking in the wrong ways, being record-breaking for the worst ever since 1951, and you're dealing with a supermajority who say that your policies have worsened economic conditions in America, and you're dealing with a majority who say your policies have worsened the folks' own finances, that is, ay caramba, no good.
Yeah, no matter what, you would prefer to not have this.
No, you would prefer not to, Kate.
What about the slice of the electorate both parties need and is what decides elections? Independence.
Yeah, okay. And you know, oftentimes we talk about independence, and sometimes that group of voters includes folks who lean either the Republican or Democratic side. I decide to look at pure independents, those who don't lean towards either side. And look at this, disapprove of Trump on the economy among pure independents. We're talking about 4 in 5. 4 in 5, 79%. I'm laughing because you rarely ever see a number this high. 79% of pure independents disapprove of Trump on the economy. How about this? This is no outlier, Kate. This is no outlier because look at Marquette University, their law school. 76% of pure independents disapprove of Trump on the economy. When you put it all together with the approval ratings, it averages out to a net approval rating on the economy among pure independents of, get this, minus 58 points. Oy vey, as my mother used to say. This is the type of thing that is political nightmare fuel, and it is no wonder that a little bit less than a week ago, the Republicans went down to defeat in Virginia and New Jersey. If these numbers hold a year from now, the Republicans can wave adios amigos goodbye to their House majority, and they may very well be bidding adios amigos goodbye to their Senate majority as well.
Definitely numbers not to ignore at this point, for sure. Thanks, Harry.
Thank you.
Voters just sent a clear message. They are not happy with the state of the economy under President Trump. Is he listening? My panel is here to discuss. And look, just as a factual matter, CNN's Daniel Dale did a fact check on the price of groceries from January to September. The price of coffee is up 15%. A lot of that's the tariffs. The price of beef is up 14%. Bananas up 7%, also the tariffs. Cakes 6%, candy 4%, salad dressing 2%. In your home state, do people think the prices are going down?
Other than the New England Patriots possibly becoming the best, if not one of the best teams in the NFL. I mean, they're looking good. The Pats are back. But also, and this is just Democrats, I get it. They have the best week that they've had in a year and a half. And then fear and loathing and the wringing of hands because they may reopen the government because, yes, there are some Democrats who understand that people are going hungry. And what have they done? They have found out and they have exposed a White House that is working overtime to give tax cuts to billionaires. At the same time, they're working overtime to take SNAP assistance, to take food assistance from working Americans. And this has exposed just how much the Republican Party hates the idea of helping working Americans, helping middle-class Americans who are struggling with health care. So you take that and you take the massive win that Democrats had this past week, massive, historic in some ways, where, as Steve Bannon said, Democrats erased 10 years of Republican gains in one night. And why did that happen? Donald Trump said it happened because of the government shutdown. So all this fear and loathing and all this whining, I wish Democrats for once, just once, could take a win and then understand the Republicans, they were never going to help working Americans. They learned that through this process. So you know who else learned that through this process? The American voter. Donald Trump was exposed and the administration was exposed and Republicans were exposed as the party that fought like hell to give tax cuts to billionaires, to multinational corporations, to the richest of the rich. And we learned just last week they were trying to extend those tax cuts to even more billionaires, to give them even bigger tax cuts. At the same time, they were fighting like hell to stop working Americans from getting basic food assistance. And just a helping hand, just a little helping hand with our health care costs. So, yeah, the government shutdown is going to come to an end. But the reality of what this Republican Party stands for today, the reality of what Donald Trump was fighting for this past week, that will stay with voters for years to come.
Yeah, we will return to our top story, Drake May, a little later in the morning. But right now, in terms of the shutdown, it's interesting to see how this is being received. So I think we have to look at it in two different ways. There's the sort of short-term impact and the long-term impact. And like last night, a lot of Democrats deeply unhappy by what happened last night. A sense, particularly from the progressive wing, but not entirely, that this is a weird moment to cave. The Democrats had momentum coming off of the election night win. Polls only getting worse for President Trump and the Republicans. They're squarely taking the blame here. There's some who really want to push Democrats to push the advantage, bargain harder, get a better deal. And it's true, they did not get a guarantee to preserve those Obamacare subsidies. There's going to be a vote later next month, it looks like, but not a guarantee that it'll happen. But there are some good things that did come of this deal, Joe. To your point, obviously, government workers are going to start getting paid again. SNAP benefits are going to be restored. There's going to be a moratorium on layoffs, the federal workforce, and the restoration of those who have lost their jobs. And I think for Democrats, short-term, there's frustration, but long-term, yes, they have used this shutdown to underscore the point you just made. Republicans are out of touch. Republicans don't care about the little guy. Republicans care about the wealthy and the tax cuts for the rich and building ballrooms and the like. We can go down the list. So I think that's where we are right now. There's a lot of sort of unhappiness in the party last night. Why did we blink now? Yeah. So many people said to me, my phone was blowing up last night with unhappy Democrats. But I think those who like the deal say, look, we need to take a step back. Yeah. We're playing more of a long game.
Listen, I understand. I understand people who are intense on the left, just like when I was in Congress, I understood people who were intense on the right about government shutdowns.
This data is showing is that rank-and-file Republicans, voters, do not like the deal that Trump's cronies cooked up. They don't like it. They don't like the whole deal of the second Trump administration. Because, again, I've talked about this before. Trump was given another chance by the voters. He won this election actually. Like, look, I know the Electoral College is real and all of that, but, like, I still think it's bizarre that you can win without getting a majority of the votes for president. But this time he did. He got over he didn't get over half the votes, but he got more votes than any other person. He won the popular vote. And if you looked at the data, he was less unpopular on like January 20th, 2025, or this year, than he ever was in his first or second term. People gave him a chance, saying, we still don't really like you, but we hate you the least we ever have. Prove us right that we're giving you another chance. And he instantly effed it up. And now not only is he more unpopular than he ever was in his first term, more unpopular than Biden was even at the end, where Biden wasn't very popular in his final days, he's bad on the issues that he was always good on before. Again, even when he was launching a fascist coup, you did polling in January of 2021 during J6, and you asked people, what do you think of Trump? His numbers were very low, obviously, but his numbers were still decent on the economy. People were like, yeah, he's a fascist, but like the economy was okay, I guess. Again, whether that's true or not, right? Now they don't even think that. And so the shutdown deal, which only exacerbates that because the deal, which was aided by some cowardly Democrats, we've talked about that last night, the deal preserves all the tax cuts for the rich and all the benefits for the rich. It doesn't give a damn about the Americans that are going to lose their health care or lose their affordable health care. And that's the next fight. And those people got screwed by Trump, including his own voters.